Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And we do full-length car reviews every week. Halfway through, we stop for a segment called Questions, Coffee, and Cars. And we spun it off to a standalone segment. And how did they play along?
Follow along at Motormouth_Andrea. I put a post out every week on Sunday morning. Get your questions in. It only stays up for so long because they come in fast and furiously. And once we have them, we start the show.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Well, usually I do your questions from Instagram. But first of all, we have to say thank you for 300,000 subs.
How amazing is that? Zach and I were watching it and we're like, oh my God, 300,000. And it's because of you guys and all of your support. So we thank you for that. We couldn't be here without you. And
by the way, Andrew,
all the watch time.
We're up to 300,001. 300,001,000. I don't even know how you say that. But anyway, it's going up. So that's the main thing. And we really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Now we do it. Your questions from Instagram.
Love your videos. So two things. Number one, please put out a blooper reel. We get that request quite a bit, actually. Number two, the new Toyota Land Cruiser. I know it's a Toyota, but would you wait a few years before getting one? But lease versus buy?
Okay, on the blooper thing, there aren't a lot of bloopers. There's a lot of us just making a flub in our lines and then just pick what we call doing a pickup.
Yeah.
Just saying, oh, well, okay, I said that wrong. And then doing a pickup. There's nothing really to see there. The bellyache, blooper thing, not that many really.
No, and also we would have to look at the episode, each one that we do, and then I guess remove a couple bloopers or mistakes, and then maybe start a file, and then at the end of the year. But to go back right now and do it all would probably
take too long.
Yeah, it would be a lot of work. So I think we could do that.
A good point. I'll open a folder in the computer, and then I'll just add bloopers in there. How's that?
And sometimes,
I don't know if there's going to be that many, but at the end of the year, there might be enough.
But sometimes, like, we laugh about things, or I get the giggles, or Zach says something, and we're kind of like, ooh.
Well, there's all kinds
of. We can always say that on air.
Here, the reality is, there's lots of off-color things that we say.
Lots of
that we would get in trouble.
Yeah.
With the society today.
Yeah.
Because political correct police would say, you can't say that. And I would say to Andrew, of course we can.
But there are some fun things. Like there are things that happen that are kind of fun. I bet you if we look back at each video, we would find it. So anyway, let's just start a file.
All right. On to the Land Cruiser.
Yeah. What would you do?
Wait on it to see what's going to happen
with
it?
For reliability. You know, we always say every time a new vehicle comes out, why don't you wait a bit? Would you make an exception because it's a Toyota?
Well, I'm kind of in the camp of wait a little bit because Toyota has brought out this new 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
So they're not known for doing turbocharged engines. They have done turbo in the NX for 8 years or so.
And it's been reliable.
Yeah. And from what I understand, technically they have a separate cooling system for the turbo, and that is hopefully going to improve longevity. But yeah, you know what? It wouldn't hurt to leave it for a couple of years to see what happens and let other people stress it in the marketplace and see what happens. Or you could just say, what is Toyota known for?
Reliability.
And take a flyer.
Yeah, and I would think, leasing isn't a bad idea. You can always buy it out at the end of the lease if you wanted to. I probably wouldn't hesitate as much. I think it's going to be tough to get a Land Cruiser anyway. So if you do get one,
that's probably a good investment.
Yeah, you should keep it. I think it's going to be worth something one day.
We call leasing the 3 or 4 year test drive.
Yeah, we've got a question coming up,
okay.
so hold your thoughts on that.
Thoughts. All right.
Why do the engineers think it's a good idea to take away the shifter in cars? Seems counterintuitive. We have muscle memory stored using the vertical shifter.
I agree. You know what I miss? I miss the column shifter, like the pickup trucks.
Get out.
Yeah, I love driving a pickup truck with a column shifter. You know why? Because I used to hang my hand over it, drive with one hand right there, and then you put your hand back on.
Oh, no, thank you.
A 3 on the tree? I like that.
Absolutely not.
You've never driven a 3 on the tree. 3 on the tree is fun.
No, thanks. I will just take this shifter that we have in our vehicle. I love it. I just like a traditional shifter. The dial shifter, the column shifter, the button shifter. I mean...
What about the Mercedes one, the push button?
The
like Tesla has that too.
Tesla. And then, of course, you've got different shifters for EVs as well. I don't know. I'm with you. I just like the traditional shifter,
Well-
but manufacturers like to switch things up.
Okay, so there is an explanation. So a regular sort of torque converter transmission, which is the typical design of most automatic transmissions, there's a linkage between the shifter and the transmission, which is directly below it. Okay, so that's a mechanical thing.
That's right.
When you get into hybrids and plug-ins and EVs, it's a digital switch. So one of the things is, because it's just a digital switch, they can clear up some of this real estate here and give you more for cup holders and all kinds of things. I don't think it takes that much to put a small version of a traditional shifter.
Yeah.
You can do it. And the one
We
that
see
was
that in the Nissan Rogue.
yeah, the Rogue is a very good one.
Yeah.
The Mitsubishi Outlander has a version of that. That works.
What was in the QX60? Was that the same shifter?
QX60, yeah, it would be similar.
It was similar
Okay,
one.
the interesting thing was when Honda brought out their push-button shifter, so it was flat. But the interesting thing was that it took up the exact same amount of space that the regular shifter would have instead of the thing sticking up. So I was like, well, what's the point?
And what about the Acura RDX? Like, that's a pretty cluttered center console with a button shifter.
Yeah. So
I don't get that one.
all right, we're with you.
Love the content, guys. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, before I get into this question, stay tuned. We are back from vacation. Zach took the brown leather bag. Man.
It was a hit and a miss. Hit and a miss.
Was it really a hit?
It's a beautiful bag, Andrew. We have video, so just stay tuned for that.
It was more of a mess, but anyway, stay tuned.
I had people come up to me in the lobby and go, "Wow, is that from Venice?"
They did not.
No,
nobody
said
said a
that.
thing.
We had
Nobody
the guy
said a
getting us the
thing.
car. He goes, "Oh, can I help you with your bag?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Back away, buddy.
Yeah,
Can't
don't touch the
Don't even
bag."
look at the bag."
What's your thoughts on the new Santa Fe? And why do you think Hyundai has elected to not offer a plug-in hybrid to the American and Canadian markets? I'm perplexed by that as well,
I have a theory.
because from what I understand, it is going to Europe. So they're going to have it. I think it's going to come.
That's my theory.
Yeah, it's going to come for sure. They can't go without it.
So I think there's going to be, because of production issues, they're going to do the gas and the hybrid right away.
I think
Because the
so.
difference between gas and hybrid is not that great. And because they don't want to announce the plug-in,
No.
because people might hold off buying it.
Yeah.
So what they probably do is it'll be in the market for a year, and then for the 2026 model year, they'll go, oh, by the way, we're going to bring a plug-in. That's what I think.
And you see that with the Lexus RX. You remember back when the RX was brought out, this new one, Toyota said a plug-in hybrid is coming. Oh gosh, I think it was over a year and a half, and now they put out another press release saying the plug-in hybrid is here.
You know what they
so
came
I
out
was
with?
like, is there not going to be an RX plug-in hybrid? Anyway, it did end up coming.
Oh yeah, no. The press release was all about how much it's going to cost. And
Yikes.
holy man, was it 86 grand or something?
It's one trim.
Yeah, 80,
but
and these
my
are Canadian
goodness,
dollars.
This is insane. I mean, you can then get a Tesla Model Y, get a pure EV. But I get it. People don't always have the infrastructure in place for a pure EV, but that's way too much money in my opinion. You guys are always a blast to watch. Thank you. Which performance division do you like more, BMW's M or Mercedes AMG?
Well, I got a bit of a beef with both brands where they put M and AMG on everything.
I know.
You know, the purest cars, I would say M is pretty special. And then we were just in Europe and we saw the AMG GT. That's pretty nice.
Pretty hot.
RS from Audi is pretty sweet. You don't see as many RS cars around. But anyway, I don't know.
I think I prefer the M, and I'll tell you why.
One reason.
Yes. Manual
Yes,
transmission.
they still offer them.
I have just a real problem with Mercedes-Benz and the column shifter in an AMG model.
true.
I also find that Mercedes-Benz, even an AMG, just seems to offer a more comfortable drive. Whereas with the BMW M Series, you can get something that is just so dynamic. I just find there to be a difference.
Stand by, Andrea, because I just booked this past week the M2.
I know.
I don't think it's going to have a manual, but still, an M2 is going to be a load of fun to drive.
Yeah, it'll
you're
be a
going to love it.
blast.
You're going to
I'm
say,
gonna love it.
cancel the GTI, get me an M2. And I'll say, how much more money do we have? We don't have enough. Okay, we're not buying it.
That's the issue. Love your show. Thank you so much. Keep it up. I'm exploring options based on the recent reviews you have given. I'm torn between the BMW X1 or X3. Is the X3 worth the additional cost, or would I be satisfied with the X1?
Can I just do a little technical
Yeah,
explanation?
do it.
Okay, so the X3 is a traditional BMW layout. So that is either the 4-cylinder turbo or the inline-6 turbo with a rear bias all-wheel drive system that was developed by Magna, the Canadian parts supplier.
Yeah.
The X1 is a co-developed platform with Mini. So think the Countryman from Mini and the X1, they're cousins, right? So developed for both companies. It's more of a front-wheel bias, all-wheel drive system. So the X3 is more of a pure what BMW would have created, but I tell you what, the X1's a load of fun.
X1 is a ton of fun. This new one's got all the updated technology with iDrive 8. Obviously, the X3 is going to get that eventually. You're going to pay an extra $10,000 Canadian for that X3 versus the X1. There isn't a lot more space in the X3. You will get more cargo space behind the rear seats and overall cargo capacity in the X3. But, width-wise, front row legroom, rear legroom.
And you know the reason why that is? Because the X1 is based on a front wheel drive mini platform. So the engine goes this way, okay? It goes from wheel to wheel. On the X3, it's a longitudinal and it goes this way. And that just encroaches into the cabin space. Yeah. So the X1 is more of what they call a cab forward design, where the cab sits a little bit more forward. It gives more legroom here, more legroom there, not maybe as much trunk space, but for the passengers on the inside, tossable. The other one is, Andrea, if you're considering an X1, go drive the Mini Countryman. That's a hell of a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, but you don't get a lot of features in it. That's the other thing. And guess what else? The X1 has more torque than the X3 right now. Now, that might change when the new X3 comes out, but for now, I'm thinking I would get the X1 with a lot of features. It would bring me up to about 55, 56,000
Are you saying it would bring you up to the
Canadian.
base model of the X3? Yeah.
I would do that. I think there's a lot of value, and the X1 is a lot of fun.
Oh, by the way, the other thing that's different, just before we move on, because we're spending a lot of time on this. So you could upgrade the seats and the leather, for example, in the X1, which is going to be better than the base model X3 seats, which we think are cheap.
Sensitive. But we don't even really like Vernasca either.
Yeah, so I would go spend a little more money and get your pimp your ride.
Pimp your ride right out with that X1. Love your channel. Thank you so much. I'm moving to Washington State from Arizona. Gosh, it must be for a lot more money, right?
Bring a sweater.
I have a Hyundai Palisade SEL. Well, I need to trade it in for an all-wheel drive vehicle, or do I just invest in snow tires for winter driving?
Well, it depends on where you live in Washington State. If you're moving to Seattle area, maybe you work for a big tech company, you can get by with that, no problem.
Totally. Just get a good set of winter tires. If you are dealing with a ton of snow all the time, then all-wheel drive might be a good option. But I think you can I would try it.
Oh, yeah.
I would try it before you go for an all-wheel drive model.
I just
See
want
how you do.
This is fun to watch for anybody.
What
Seattle is very hilly. Okay.
Yeah.
So we were there just recently, and we were walking around the Capitol Hill region, which is kind of the top of the hill. They have a street called Broadway, and then you go down quite steep hills to get downtown. Do yourself a favor and Google or go to YouTube and look up snow driving Seattle.
Yeah.
Cars go bing bong bing. It's like
Vancouver.
It's like ping pong. They have the steeper hills though. So the one thing I would suggest is your Palisade. Invest in a good set of winter tires.
Sure.
You'll be fine.
Any updates on the arrival of your manual GTI? Yeah, we do have some news.
Well, we got some intel from the dealer and said that it looks like the production date is the week, they said tentatively, the week of September 18th. So hopefully it'll be
So maybe, what does that mean? Do you get it 8 weeks after, 12 weeks after?
I would suggest it's
don't
probably, I think, the end of November, beginning of December, because it's going to take, they have to ship it from Wolfsburg to the port, port onto a ship to Halifax, Halifax rail to Vancouver, truck to the dealer, and then to our house.
Oh, gosh. Boy, that sounds like a whole lot of work and a whole lot of time.
Andrea's already given the car a name. So we have names for all our cars. So the car we're sitting in here is Dr. Pepper. It's a Porsche Cayenne. Get it? Pepper, Cayenne, Dr. Pepper.
Or even the soft drink, Dr. Pepper.
And if you want to go with it, with this Cayenne's full name, it's Herr Professor Dr. Pepper.
You don't have to, though.
Yeah, but we just for short, we call him Dr. Pepper. We have a Civic called Cedric.
Cedric the Civic.
Yeah.
And you know what? The Civic kind of looks like a Cedric. Like after a while, he goes, this looks like a Cedric.
Oh, by the way, type below, do you name your cars?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because they always say, oh, it's she. All our cars are named he.
I know, but that's my life. I have 2 boys. We tried to get a female dog. The breeder says, no problem, Andrea. Then all the puppies come. There's only 2 females. The rest are all males. They said, oh, the 2 females are spoken for. Do you just want to take a male dog or do you want to wait for another litter? Of course I want to take a male dog. I'm not that fussy.
And boy, he's been a good boy.
He's been so good. We love him to
All
death.
right, then the last one is, actually, I don't know if it would be gender neutral, but it's a gold member.
Gold member.
But it's because of an unfortunate schmelting accident. Smoking a pancake. Gold member, for you Austin Powers fans. And what's the name of our...
Love that movie.
And what's the name? It's the best Mike Myers movie is Gold Member. An unfortunate schmelting accident. I don't speak your freaky tiki Dutch. Okay, so what's the name of the new GTI?
What is it, Zach?
It's his first name is Otto.
Otto.
And his last name is Wolfsburg.
Otto Wolfsburg.
Is his name.
Yeah. You know, when I was younger, I had a doll and it came with a name. And believe it or not, his name was Otto.
Oh, it was a male doll?
Yeah.
Oh, so he wasn't Ken? It was Otto?
It was Otto.
Oh, because your family is half German.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's why.
So I don't know if my grandma gave me the doll, but it came with a name and it was a bald baby. He didn't have any hair. And his name was Otto.
Okay, so Otto Wolfsburg. Just one more before we move on. So back in the day when I met
By the way, I just want to say these dolls, they were babies, but they did come with hair. I just happened to get one. I don't know. My grandma must have thought. Andrea could go with.
You know she spent a lot of money and got it from Germany.
Of course she did.
All right,
she was
so
a wonderful woman. Eva was her name.
And the other one is my first GTI when I first met Andrea. His name was, wait for it, Viscount von Volkswagen. Viscount von Volkswagen. I thought it was a great name for a Volkswagen.
It was good. It was black. It was a black car, and it was
Okay,
good. I mean, that was Zach's pride and joy.
Oh, the GTI,
know?
yeah, it was a piece of crap.
It really was.
I had 2 Volkswagen vans.
Yeah. Okay, move it along. We're not even going to get to any questions. We still have to do the bag.
Oh, no, but they're worth it because the names are funny.
Okay.
Okay, well, the first one was called Shaggin' Wagon 1.
God help us, right? and that's when I met you after that. He sold the GTI and he got this.
Shaggin' Wagon 1.
And he had 2 friends sitting in the back.
No, wait, no. This and the second one was called Shaggin' Wagon 2.
I know, and I still stayed with him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I still dated
Hey,
him.
Andrea, I'm a catch.
Yep.
Just ask me.
Just ask him. For sure.
All right,
That's
next
my
question.
life. That's my life. He always compliments himself and then he goes, just ask me. Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
Okay, just ask me. What's the next question?
Okay, we're going to do one more question, then we're going to talk about the bag because it's
Oh,
fun.
are we done late? We barely answered any questions.
I know. What are your thoughts about leasing versus financing? Can I start? Okay. So for me, we've done both. We've purchased vehicles.
And we're
going to
purchase the GTI.
We're going to purchase the GTI because we want to keep it long term. But one great thing about leasing is that it's a great test drive. You know, really leasing the GTI wouldn't be a bad idea just in case there were any issues with it.
It's going to be, Otto will be fine.
But we're okay with it, even if there is. We are keeping this vehicle long term, so that's why we're buying it. But we have leased before, and if we really like the vehicle a lot, we've just bought it out at the end of the lease.
Okay, so it might be slightly different in the U.S. versus Canada, and
I think it
I
is.
believe it is. So
Yeah.
the way it works in Canada is if you lease a vehicle, say we'll pick a round number, say it's $200 a month or $300 a month,
Yeah.
you pay tax every month on that amount. So unlike I believe in the U.S. where say the car's $30,000, the tax is added and then you pay that off every month. In Canada, you're only paying tax on the payment amount. So what that is deferred tax.
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of taking the tax at the beginning of the loan, you're only paying a little bit every single
is
month.
nice.
And my accountant pointed this out years ago. He said it's deferred tax, and especially if you're running it through a business, you're not paying all that tax up front. So that's one ideal thing. The other one is accelerated depreciation. So say you get a brand new GTI, God forbid, it's not going to happen, and you're driving through and someone T-bones you and the car's 2 months old and the repair is $20,000, like a big whack on the car. They're not going to, the insurance company won't write it off because it hasn't depreciated to the point. It's still worth more than the $20,000 repair.
Yeah.
So they're going to repair the car. Okay. But what you have now, if you own the car, you have a car that has been in a major accident.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're shopping for a car and you see one that's had a $20,000 accident and one that has never had an accident, which one do you think is worth more? This one. So that's called accelerated depreciation. It's
Yeah.
worth less. And the interesting thing, I'll just get to the chase here. If you lease the car, you don't own the car. The lease company owns the car. All you're obliged to do is fix it to their specifications. So you would call your Volkswagen dealer and say, where is a certified repair shop for the bodywork? I'll send it there, get it fixed to their specifications. And then at the end of the 3 or 4 years, you give the key back and you say, thank you very much. You eat that depreciation.
I know, that's
a nice thing.
Yeah, and I think it's great when you do that. You know, if something like that happens to you, leasing works really well. Now, I'm starting to think maybe we should lease. No,
we're not going to.
We're just fine. We're just going to buy.
And the reason that Otto is joining the family and not leaving is because it's a manual transmission. And we got a theory between Andrea and I that eventually the manuals are going to go away.
They're going
and
away.
I think the GTI is going to go away as a gas car, and it's going to be replaced with an
by
electric.
an EV. Yeah. I mean,
when we don't know.
This is going to happen. It's just a matter of time. So that's why we're jumping in now. Oh, are we going to do the? We'll do the bag.
Okay.
Okay. So we're back from our vacation. We had a wonderful time. Like we just
weather.
feel so relaxed. There was a lot of gin and tonic. I also got into tequila with lots of lime, and it was amazing. We ate some delicious food.
Zach had some good times.
Yeah, we had some good times. Okay, so let me start off this. Zach brings the bag. Of course, because he told you he was going to bring the bag.
I told you I was going to bring the bag.
This bag is really a one-night bag. First off, I've said this before about the bag. When you unzip the bag and you open it up, it's not wide enough to really search through all your stuff. So we actually brought a cooler with us for the pool and all this stuff. So Zach had the cooler on top of my bag that I brought, because I just brought a carry-on bag, luggage.
RS3 just drove by.
Oh, ain't
Nice.
great.
Did you guys hear that?
Looks good.
I'll just replay it.
Bag that I brought, because I just brought a carry.
Okay.
And so Zach, because on my bag the cooler was heavier, he says, why don't you just pull the brown bag? And I said, sure, I'll pull the brown bag. First off, the handle is way too short. So you pull out the
Andrew,
handle.
you got long arms. It's fine.
And, well, maybe that's the problem.
Okay, keep going.
And then you're walking with it and it flops over. So it doesn't even hold up on the wheel at all.
So it's narrow instead of like a regular carry-on bag, which is like 29 inches or whatever it's supposed to be to get on the airplane. That's much more stable. And you even get speed wobbles with those. But when it's as narrow as this, here's a video. Watch this.
Watch it.
Now, many of you have wanted to see the bag from Venice. Beautiful leather bag. Oh, but it's got a trick. Watch this. A handle. This is where the flaw is in this bag. See how narrow the wheels are? Watch this. Oh.
Plus the handle's too short, way too short. It's ridiculous.
It's kind of like me. Looks good, not practical. So the good news, our hotel room was 15 steps away from the lobby.
Yeah.
So the bag is now retired from anything more than one night. It's probably going to be
and
retired generally.
Generally, and also you just carry it. Don't use the handle at all. So you're going to laugh at this, but I said to Zach, this bag is absolutely ridiculous. So I'll just take my bag with the cooler on top, which was extremely heavy, but I
Come on.
did it. No problem.
Is this our last question?
No, we have to keep going a little longer because we've been talking too much. Love your content and been a follower ever since I saw your review for the first time. Thank you. How can we choose between the RAV4 gas model and hybrid? Do you think the ECVT in the hybrid is as reliable as the automatic on the gas model?
It's more reliable.
Yeah. Fantastic.
The thing is that Toyota hybrids are some of the most reliable vehicles, period.
Yes.
2 studies, one that came out of the UK, one that came out of the US, talked about the most reliable types of vehicles. The most reliable are hybrids.
Yeah.
The least reliable are
EVs.
because EVs are full with all that new forward tech that they annoy us. And so if you want the most reliable vehicle, a hybrid from Toyota is a great place to start.
And they've been doing hybrids for a very, very long time. I wouldn't be concerned about it at all. As well, the hybrid is a lot quieter than gas model of the RAV4. I highly recommend the hybrid.
It's a better car.
The gas model is way too loud, and we've even said that to Toyota. Is there a good reason why some manufacturers have eliminated the traditional dipstick for engine and automatic transmission oil? Yeah, it's going away. You know, it's interesting. I read an article on this with the dipstick. I used to like the dipstick. I used to check my oil with the dipstick.
This is what I was going to say.
Is it clear? Remember that?
I will tell you why, Andrea. Because nobody even looks under their hood anymore. Cars are so reliable.
Totally.
They go to the gas station or whatever, and that's it. So I think that they're like, well, why are we adding this? Nobody ever checks it. You know the least read book in the world?
What?
The owner's manual.
That is true.
It's the newest thing on a used car. If
Yeah.
you want to find something on your car that's brand new, open the glove box, pull out the owner's manual, never been opened.
No.
I guarantee you people with dipsticks don't even know where it is under the hood.
Probably not. I did. I knew where my dipstick was. Don't you worry. But you know what? I think actually, so this article I read, manufacturers are saying don't want to leave it to people to make this decision because maybe they don't think that they're capable of figuring it all out. So they just want them to go in and change their oil.
So now,
also, the tech has changed.
It's all computerized.
It's all.
They got idiot lights. Comes on, check your oil.
Check your oil.
Like, oh wait, watch this. This is the video we did of the Land Rover Defender. And what happened was it said, I swear to you, it just popped up and it said, add a liter of engine oil.
Oh,
right now.
My
But this is
gosh.
brand new, but still, a liter of engine oil.
That is not good. Take a pic. Take a pic. Add 1 liter of engine oil.
Well, it could just be run-of-the-mill break-in. Could be the run-of-the-mill break-in stuff. I don't know. Add a liter of oil.
It told us.
It told us. So
Yeah.
that's where we're getting to.
How important do you think it is reliability of a car manufacturer while making a purchasing decision? I mean, which one will you choose between a very reliable but not highly powered, not so good looking, and not much fun to drive car? Assume Toyota Corolla Cross. Or not so reliable but very powerful, really good looking, and so much fun, Land Rover or Alfa Romeo? Well, I know what I'd pick.
I know what you'd pick too.
Yeah, but
You'd buy the Corolla Cross hybrid.
of course.
No.
But
You'd buy the Alfa Romeo.
I'd buy the Giulia, Alfa Romeo Giulia, and I wouldn't worry about reliability because I'll just deal with it as it comes. We've owned lots of German cars, and that one is Italian, and it looks so hot.
And the bag would look good in the trunk.
And
if
the
you
bag.
go way back to the beginning, and we talked about leasing versus owning,
Yeah.
that's a perfect example of lease it for
Leasing.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
If it's good, you might want to keep it or just get another one.
But
That's what
for
I would
some
do.
people, reliability is number 1 on their list. That is number 1. They don't care how it handles. They don't care about if it's fun. They just want it to be reliable. And I get that too. So that's why they'll go with the Toyota
Okay,
Corolla
I can
Cross.
solve your problem right now. You just buy a Porsche it's reliable, and it's fun to drive.
And expensive. I ordered a Subaru Crosstrek Sport, no commitment. Did I make the right choice? I'm looking for a subcompact SUV in this price range, and I've also considered the Kia Seltos.
Oh, no, you made the right choice.
I think you made a great choice. The Kia Seltos is also good, but the Crosstrek, you get more ground clearance on the Crosstrek, and it's standard all-wheel drive. Price is quite good. The only thing you don't get on the Crosstrek is the power liftgate. If that's not a deal breaker for you, then
So
it's okay.
we do our top 5, and we always talk about, I think the Crosstrek is the one to beat in that category.
Yes.
Period. It's just the only thing, the negative about the Crosstrek is, boy, did they jack up the price of the new one.
Yeah.
They really jacked up the
But
price.
all prices have been jacked up. Like even the Seltos. I used to say, oh, you get that turbocharged engine for under 33,000 Canadian. Now that's gone up as well. So it's not like it's just Subaru. They've all raised their price. Okay, one more. I'm in the market for an EV SUV in the next couple of years, and the Equinox EV really catches my attention with its estimated price, space, and range. I worry about its reliability, though. Do you think reliability will be an issue given GM's history with their ICE cars and the Bolt battery recall?
Well, take the Bolt battery recall out of it, because that wasn't General Motors. That was LG Chem's issue, and they had to own that and eat that. And, on the new Ultium platform, I'm sure they've learned some lessons from that. I would say the big bugaboo of all of these electric cars is the technology interface between the car and the battery and the human driving it.
Yeah.
But here's my news flash. I don't think the Equinox cheap and cheerful one is coming anytime soon. They're going to give the fully loaded one first.
Yeah, and I also think even that cheap and cheerful price point that they gave, I think it really confused people, because the pictures that they put out
Are not bad.
connected to that pricing is obviously the top trim. So I got an issue with that, because people were like, oh my God, this looks amazing, and it's going to be, $35,000. This is great. That's not what you're getting, and I can tell you one thing. You're going to get a base model at that price, and you're going to have to add a ton of features or packages to get you up to that level. I think it's going to be expensive. And the Blazer, they just announced the pricing, and it's going to be
60.
full. Yeah.
Okay, the Blazer, same thing. They're putting the RS model out first. Here's the interesting thing is, I think they're going to have the cheap and cheerful 30,000 US, 35 Canadian is going to be just 2-wheel drive. And then if you want to have all-wheel drive and you want a 1LT package and a 2LT package and a 1LT package with technology, it's going to add up fast.
Look at the Acura. They just announced it. Their EV coming. It is going to start at 60,000 US, 80,000 Canadian.
You know what that is, Andrea? That is a compliance car. That is nothing more than that. They're just bringing it to market because they have to. And then if you really, really want to have an Acura EV, to go, sure, we'll sell it to you. It's $86,000 or whatever in Canada.
And I think that's what consumers don't realize is that, Toyota has one EV, Lexus has one EV, Subaru has one EV.
Mazda has one EV.
They have to have an EV, or they will be charged in Canada for every gas model they sell. So they have no choice. Whether they have plans to sell a ton of them or not, unfortunately, these manufacturers aren't making money when they produce EVs.
I just had a notification come up of something with the GoPro. So why don't we just wrap it up?
Okay, we'll wrap it up with GoPro. That's a thorn in
That's my way of saying, let's wrap it up.
Anyway, thank you for watching.
For the 300,000 subs, thank you.
Thank you. Follow along at Motormouth_Andrea. Put a post out every Sunday. Get your questions in. It's only up for a short time.
See you later.